Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining us here tonight on YouTube. I'm Darcy Furness, the nutritionist in the South Surrey location. If you'd like to take advantage of our free nutrition services, you can email me directly at Choices Markets, South Surrey Nutrition at choicesmarkets.com. And if you're not in my store area, you can email head office at nutrition@choicesmarkets.com, and they will connect you with the nutritionist closest to you. I'll be popping these email addresses into the chat function so you can have access to them if you like. Great way to stay in touch with all things healthy is to sign up for our newsletter. Head over to our website, www.choicesmarkets.com, and you can sign up for the newsletter, which is really helpful. So you'll find out when our sales are happening. There's good articles, recipes, upcoming events, and what have you. So I encourage you to do that. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. So a couple of housekeeping details. Most of you know this because you've been here before, but at the end of the seminar tonight, you're going to get another email from Eventbrite. And we're going to be sending you a nutrition coupon for $10 off a $50 purchase. And we're going to ask you for your couple comments on the seminar and also your mailing address. So go ahead and complete that, and you should receive your nutrition coupon, I think they say about 4 weeks or so. So we just our way of saying thanks for coming. So questions tonight can be popped into the chat function. And if you don't have access to that, no fear. Most questions do get answered, but if they don't, you can email hello, the website, go to the Vitali's website, hello@vitali.ca, and I'll be popping that into the chat as well. So our seminar is going to run about 45 minutes, and after my introduction for Cheryl, I'm going to be muting myself and taking me off video, and you'll be in good hands. So a little bit about Cheryl. I'm delighted to have her back. Cheryl Grant is the president of Vitality. She's passionate about supporting women's health. She believes that knowledge is key, and she hosts these types of seminars all across the country. Tonight, we're going to talk about energy and iron. Iron deficiency is a leading cause of fatigue worldwide, particularly in women. Who among us has not felt fatigued? Cheryl's going to explain the key causes of iron deficiency, and she's going to recommend simple ways that we can regain this lost energy through nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle. So please join me in welcoming Cheryl Grant.
Thanks, Darcy. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm excited to share with you our presentation. So I'm just going to pull this up and get things started here. So as Darcy talked about, today we're going to be talking about building your iron and your energy. And, you know, this is one of my favorite topics when I am out doing seminars, because iron deficiency has such a large impact on people, and especially women. So one of the things that I do like to let people know is it's very common to feel frustration with iron deficiency, and it takes a lot of effort to be able to rebuild our energy. So that's really what we're going to focus on tonight. And tonight, what I do recommend to you is also grab a piece of paper and a pen. This is a great way to write down some tips for yourself. And as Darcy mentioned, this will be recorded, so you can always go back and watch it afterwards. So who's Vitality? We are presenting to you tonight. Vitality has actually been revitalized by my brother and myself. So we are a family operated company. We're an award-winning company, and our Power Iron, which is part of the iron discussion tonight, has won 7 Alive Awards. So we're really proud of this iron supplement. We've also won a Clean Choice Award, which is one of the top awards in North America. The product line is clean. It's made in BC. We really focus on the integrity of the line. And as a woman, I really focus on women first. You might notice my dog in the background. He's decided to go from sleeping to lots of energy. So we're going to get you into the same place. And also our website there is vitality.ca. So you're welcome to go to that as we're speaking. And as Darcy mentioned, you can also send an email direct to me at hello@vitality.ca. So our focus in today's discussion is really going to be about understanding iron in our bodies. We want to discuss how to increase our iron levels. We want to talk about digestion, and digestion actually plays a key role in our iron absorption. We're going to also talk about that lifestyle focus of ways to reduce stress and sleeplessness, also impacting our overall health and our energy. And we're really going to gain insight to increase our iron and our energy as we step into 2023 and beyond. So really our core focus is to live life energized, and that's really on my focus with everything we do at Vitality. I found this really interesting about iron deficiency. This came from a study. It said 85% of women aged 18 to 55 complaining of tiredness who were participating in a study had very low concentrations of iron in their blood. So a lot of the time when we are really tired, we have ongoing fatigue, we blame a lot of factors in our life. And sometimes it can come right down to a nutritional deficiency. And that's actually what iron is. It's an iron deficiency. So it's a nutrient that we're not getting enough of, and it's playing a large impact on our body. So it's really important to know that, again, we can really work on solving these problems. So what is iron deficiency and iron deficiency anemia? And one of the things I'd like to do before we talk about symptoms is actually look to the right-hand side there. You're going to notice that picture of what looks like red dots, and that really represents red blood cells. So on the one side, you see the check mark that says normal, and on the other side, it has an X and it says anemia. And what you're really noticing there is there's not as many red blood cells. So when we're talking about iron deficiency, we're actually talking about our blood. And so a lot of people are confused because they're thinking that they need to absorb more iron, more iron, more iron. But if we don't get healthy red blood cells, we're not going to be able to absorb that nutrient, which is one of the top things that I would like to talk about with iron deficiency tonight. So remember this important picture, because I'm going to come back to this as we're talking through iron deficiency, nutrients, and lifestyle. So again, normal healthy blood has lots of red healthy blood cells, and basically what they are is the vehicle. The red blood cells are the vehicle that carry iron, which carries oxygen that goes through our body. So the more healthy red blood cells that we have in our body, they're able to absorb absorb the oxygen that fuels our body. That is going to be so important to our overall health. So a lot of people say to me, I'm not sure what iron deficiency looks like. And yes, you should talk to a doctor if you think you have ongoing fatigue or various items, but our body is also always giving us signals when we have a deficiency or there's something wrong. And what's really important is that we stay in tune with our bodies and really listen to what our body is telling and showing us. And so with the symptoms of iron deficiency, one of the biggest indicators of iron deficiency is ongoing fatigue or always feeling very tired. And again, that's because oxygen is really supporting our muscles, our mind, our heart. And so if we don't have enough oxygen traveling through our body, we feel very tired and we start to feel general weakness. And that can mean that when you're walking up the stairs, you notice that you feel fatigued very, very quickly. You may even have a shortness of breath. That is because we're not delivering enough oxygen to our muscles. And also within even our own lungs, we cannot have the right capacity that our bodies require. When that happens, we also start to see things like spots before our eyes when we sit up, or we even experience dizziness, not getting enough oxygen, not enough blood to our head. So a lot of people hear that expression. And I also hear a lot of the time baby brain, but sometimes that is, again, iron deficiency and fatigue. And that's very important not to dismiss that feeling of brain fog, especially as a pregnant woman, a woman who's recently had a baby, or a woman at any point in her menstruating years. So really want you to be aware of that. Same thing is in this picture here, you'll see the difference in the color. Our skin as well is not having the oxygen delivered to it. Our blood is keeping it closer to our heart. So again, our skin can look more pale, even having a yellow tone to it. We have that cold extremities. So again, someone who always has cold hands, they have the cold feet. Again, this is also another sign of it. I talked about that lack of focus or forgetfulness. And when we're really iron deficient, we start to actually coming impact on our whole body, which can even include things like an irregular heartbeat, chest pain, and headaches. This is serious. And if you're having these, please do not dismiss them. Again, these are signs that you should be speaking to your health practitioner, getting an iron test, and even starting iron supplementation. So it's very important that iron supplementation is considered to be one of the key sources of our energy and also our long-term and short-term health. So really important is that you've identified that this is a problem for you and that you're here tonight to learn about it. So what are the key causes of iron deficiency? And a lot of the times people tell me, I have no idea why I'm iron deficient. I eat well, so why am I iron deficient? And that's really important because There's four main areas here that cause iron deficiency. The first one is blood loss. So over 25% of the world's population suffers from iron deficiency. It's the number one leading nutrient deficiency in the world. And that even includes here in North America and Europe, where we have access to quality foods, as well as we have supplementation available to us. So it's very important to know what's causing iron deficiency. So like I say, the first one is blood loss. The number one group who has iron deficiency is women, and it's because of ongoing blood loss from the time of teenage years till menopause. So we're losing it monthly through menstruation. So we have ongoing blood loss, and that again is a depletion of our ability to have iron in our body. The second one is blood donation. A lot of people who donate regularly don't realize that they're actually losing blood and that their body has to now regenerate to continue. So we need to add to that. The other one is internal bleeding, and we can have small amounts of blood loss, even through feces and things of this nature. It doesn't have to be a severe blood loss, but an ongoing blood loss. A lot of time digestive issues are around this as well. Diet is the second main area, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the presentation because diet is actually very core to our iron supplementation. So why we can have iron deficiency is poor food intake, so not high nutrient dense foods. Our body doesn't absorb the food very well. We can have inflammation or other digestive issues, inflammation in the gut. We're celiac, or even people who've chosen the route of vegan or veganism may not be able to achieve the level of iron that they require. The third group here is pregnancy. A lot of women don't realize how much volume of iron in blood is required during pregnancy. So we're actually over 30% of women who are pregnant actually become iron deficient during pregnancy, and they carry that on for the years following and actually can pass that into their child's life. So it's very important to be aware of iron deficiency during pregnancy. And the last one there is obesity. And we don't actually talk a lot about this, but our society right now is approaching 50% of people overweight or obese. And that means we have a larger volume of body that we need to service. So with that means that we need higher levels of iron. So iron deficiency does have an impact, or all of these things do impact why we are iron deficient and why it's so prevalent. So I always say to people, the number one thing we want to focus on is food. Everything comes back to nutrition, and supplementation is in addition to nutrition. So a lot of people are not sure, what does a foods high in iron look like? And the first one that I always talk about is actually heme iron. So heme means animal-based proteins. These are ones that are iron rich and easy for our body to actually absorb and use. And so a lot of this includes red meat, pork and poultry, seafood like oysters, and even those people who like to eat liver can receive a lot of iron through this. And a lot of people say to me, oh, I really am craving red meat. It's again a sign from your body that you're requiring iron. And a lot of people do look to add iron when they're feeling energy is low. The secondary source of iron is coming from what's called non-heme iron, which is the vegetarian style diet, or vegetables and other types of nutrient sources. So we're talking about those leafy greens, spinach, dried fruit, really great for trail mixes. You can put raisins and apricots, mix those in with nuts, which are also high in iron. Then we also look at things like beans, which are another great source of iron for the diet. And then of course, iron fortified foods, which a lot of products have become in North America, including cereals, but sometimes we're not absorbing or getting enough iron within these, but those are our main food sources. So really good thing is to write down a list and say, do I have enough of these types of vegetables as well as animal-based products in my diet to be achieving enough iron? If you are taking it, there could be some other issues that are going on, but nutrition is always our number one foundation when we're talking about a nutrient deficiency, because we want to ensure that over the long term, we're bringing in the right things into our diet. So I always like to say to people, what is iron deficiency? And there's always say words like, I've been told I have low ferritin or hemoglobin. And I just like to let people know that when you say anemia, it means that you have a deficiency, you're low. And when we talk about ferritin, it's basically the iron storage in our body. So if you think of our ferritin, it's where our storage, our levels of storage is kind of like your gas tank. If you're filling up your car and you're on full, it means you have a high ferritin. If you are getting that indicator light of yellow, you have low ferritin. And those who are down at the red, you're anemic, severely anemic. And a lot of people even have to go on blood transfusions, which we never want to get there. And hemoglobin is basically talking about how much oxygen we have or iron we have in our red blood cells that are carrying our oxygen. So there's a nice little sign showing there of those healthy red blood cells. And I'm going to keep talking about those healthy red blood cells. I'm not talking about iron yet. I'm talking about those healthy red blood cells, because one of our key focuses that we want to do is start building those, because those red blood cells, once we build them, they absorb the iron, which absorbs the oxygen, which fuels and supports our body. So it's really important that we understand what we're talking about. The other thing, as I said about at the beginning, is frustration. So many options. Why are they not working? I've heard this over and over and over. I'm taking a liquid iron. It's not working. I've added vitamin C to my iron. It's not working. I'm taking a gentle iron. It's not working. I'm taking a high dose iron and it's not working. That leads to a lot of frustration for a lot of people. So how do we start to find how to get our supplements to work? So the number one way that we want to increase our iron stores, in addition to nutrition, is iron supplements. So iron supplementation is exactly that. We want to supplement our diet so that we increase those iron stores really quickly. So Vitality has a fantastic product in the marketplace. It's called Power Iron Plus Organic Spirulina. And one of the things about this product, and I'll talk a little bit about it, it really follows the most important things to make an iron supplement work with the body. So for best results in an iron supplement, the thing that you should be looking at, and if you're taking an iron supplement, pull it out and look at this. Supplements are meant to help increase your iron stores fast. If you've been on an iron supplement and it's not achieving the results you need to look at what's in that one and why is it not working, whether it's been prescribed by a doctor or something you found in the natural health food store. We want to focus on building healthy red blood cells. I know I'm sounding repetitive, but I'm going to get there. The other thing we want to do is look for therapeutic dose. 15 milligrams or more is really important for getting our iron stores up, because a 15 milligram is actually a maintenance dose. That means what our body needs each day. So we want to get a really high dosed iron that's going to help support us. The other thing we need to do is get key cofactors in there. So taking iron by itself in a supplement rarely works for the majority of people. And that's because we need to help build our iron. So our bloods. So what we want to do is add in key nutrients like B12 and folic acid, and those really help build our healthy red blood cells. So we want to get an iron that contains those key cofactors that really supports the absorption and supports the blood building so that our iron absorbs and our body can use it. So we're going to talk about key cofactors as well. And also really important is compliance. A lot of people, if they're taking multiple doses a day and they forget, that's not going to get your iron stores up. And so we want to get our iron stores up and get our energy up as fast as possible. So really looking for something like a 1 a day is really important, because that's going to allow us to take it once a day, make sure that we're achieving what we need to, and move forward with increasing our iron stores. The other thing that's really important is the timing. I really talk a lot about this with people when I'm educating them, is that a lot of people say, oh, I take my iron with my food. It's actually best not to take your iron with your food. And if you're getting a lot of upset stomach from your iron, it also is the iron format. So it's very important to find a product that you feel comfortable to take once a day, and that it doesn't cause upset of the stomach or constipation, because you really want to take your iron away from food and away from other items, because that's when it's going to have its best absorption. And it's always best to take it in the evening during times of fasting, because it's going to absorb better, and then it's going to support your body even faster. So really important, no matter what iron you're taking, but in particular, I always recommend take it at nighttime. You should not be taking it in the morning and with food. The other thing is always try and take it away from not only food, but tea, milk, multivitamins, or other minerals that can interfere with absorption. So those are really important for best results. Within our power iron, that's how we really looked at it. Is we started with understanding the body, and that's what we started with. Is we want to make sure that this iron absorbs into the body. So the number one thing that we did was we created a high dose iron. We made high absorbability. We made sure that it was gentle on the digestive tract, and that we also added in a natural ingredient, organic spirulina, which further supports pulling the iron into the blood cells. So this is really a 5-in-1 product. It's a vegan product. We've won multiple awards for it. So the first one is the Clean Choice Award, which was top energy supplement North America. So again, we're talking about iron and energy. They go hand in hand. And we've also been rewarded 7 times the Alive Award for women's health from both consumer and retailer choice. That's because this product works. And so when we talk about those things that are what to look for, again, this is a 1-a-day capsule, 45 milligrams of iron bisglycinate. So that's 3 times the 15 milligrams that we talked about. So it's like 3 doses of iron in 1 capsule. So we're going to really start to fill in that tank that we talked about, because we don't want to do a slow dose of 10 or 15 milligrams. We really want to elevate it. The second part of that is iron bisglycinate is one of the most gentle forms of iron on the digestive system. The top complaint of women and why they stop taking iron is it makes them feel sick or constipated. Iron bisglycinate is very gentle on the body, and it eliminates anything that's not absorbed. So you don't get that buildup on the digestive tract that causes that constipation and irritation. The next 2 ingredients in there really go back to those healthy red blood cells. Vitamin B12 and folic acid. Those 2 ingredients are 2 main B vitamins that build healthy red blood cells. So we really want to build the volume and the quality of the red blood cells. And so again, these are like full dose products right in that one product. The other thing is they also support the absorption of iron. So this is really beneficial to the body. And of course, acidity supports iron absorption. So we put in the vitamin C, which is considered to be a best practice when you're looking at iron. So just as I mentioned there, this is the product itself, the Power Iron. It's a 1-a-day product. I always tell people, if you're not noticing the difference on an iron supplement within 30 to 60 days, you need to find a new iron supplement, or look at other reasons why your iron supplement's not working for you. So again, the key cofactors here, we've talked about those, the absorption and supporting the body. I talked about the B12 and making sure that it's building those healthy red blood cells. Again, the folic acid and that vitamin C enhancer. So we really, really want to have a product that's powered. And that's why this product is called Power Iron, because it's really going to power up and fuel your body. And this is what you should be seeing is it's an ultimate blood builder. Again, it's enhancing your energy and mood, and it's boosting your brain function. So one of the things we talked about at the beginning, understanding iron in our body, we talked about iron going into the healthy red blood cells and that they're taking the oxygen and fueling your body. So we talk about boosting brain activity or brain function. That's really important, that cloudy brain, forgetfulness. We're now starting to fuel our body, bringing oxygen to our brain. It makes a huge difference to our overall health. And again, that's the difference by having a proper iron source that really absorbs into the body. And again, increasing our stamina and endurance. Once our body has the fuel of the oxygen, we're able to move forward. So this is really important, is to bring in a product that makes a big difference to your overall health. One of the things I will just quickly mention before I go on to diet is around, I did mention the Power Iron. We do have a secondary product. It's called Daily Iron, and it's a slower dose that can be used with a prenatal. It's ideal for teens. So again, majority of people who are suffering from iron deficiency are teens to menopausal women. Again, remember that 85% of people who are tired, iron deficient, were 18 to 55-year-olds. So the Daily Iron is ideal to match for a teen, again, with a prenatal during pregnancy, as well as for seniors or people who have gotten their iron stores up and are wanting to maintain it. So that is our secondary product. But a lot of the time when people have iron deficiency, this is the core one that we talk about. So iron deficiency is also known because of problems with the gut. And this is actually something a lot of people don't talk about, but it's hand in hand for a lot of people who have iron deficiency. It also means that they have poor food intake. They have a digestive issue. So if you're someone who's been saying to yourself, I've done a really good job. I take iron, I have a healthy diet. But if you recognize some of these things like irritation of the gut, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, a lot of the time, acid reflux is another one. These actually indicate that you have a digestive issue or digestive problem in your tract. And one of the problems is once we have a digestive issue, we will not be able to absorb iron or nutrients as well. And that also reduces our overall healthy gut and the ability to absorb iron and as well our overall energy. So one of the things that I've talked about, and I actually did a seminar on Heal Your Digestion here with Choices back in November, and it's available as well if you'd like to learn more about it. But we talk about the digestive tract is so core to our overall health because number one, the gut and the mind are connected. We call it our mind-gut connection. So what's happening in the brain is reflected in the gut and vice versa. So if you've got stress in your mind, it goes to the gut. It reduces our ability to absorb food, and it also leads to stress and irritation of the gut, and it impacts our overall health. And what that also can mean then is our body does not have the ability to absorb nutrients. And so when we don't have a healthy gut, what happens is we start to have ongoing chronic issues, and that also impacts our energy and our iron. So I wanted to talk about this. I actually really like this drawing when I saw this. We usually have pictures of the internal gut and they're very scientific. And we sometimes forget how much is going on right in our body. So I really like this drawing of just thinking about our body and seeing that this is really the majority of our body we never think about is actually doing huge daily functions for us, from our stomach to our small intestine, right down to our colon and elimination. So healthy digestion is very important for our iron absorption and our energy. So it's really important that we eat good food. We talked about that in iron, what types of foods have good iron sources. We want to make sure that we're digesting it fully and that we're absorbing the nutrients so we get that benefit, that overall health and energy and glow in our lives. So how do we support the gut health? The number one thing we want to do is eat real food. And we've talked about some of those that I went through, both the heme and the non-heme sources. So everything from green leafy vegetables to animal products like meat and seafood, as well as things like nuts and dried food. So these are very important. And it says, again, avoid processed foods. I always say to people, walk around the outside of the grocery stores. You don't want to be where you're finding multi-ingredient products in the central aisles. We want to stay away from sugar, which is also inflammatory to our gut. Reducing alcohol. We've just come out of the holidays, so a lot of time we could build a lot of irritation around that. So if we reduce our alcohol, that actually supports the gut health. Avoiding anything that creates food sensitivities and allergies. So if you notice you eat some type of food, it creates an irritation, eliminate it from your diet. That's very important because it's causing irritation to the gut, which means, again, we're getting inflammation and we cannot absorb the type of food that is very important for our energy. The other thing is ensure proper elimination. That means healthy poos. And again, you want to make sure that you're getting lots of hydration and proper foods, and especially fibers that really support. You can include things like lemon water in the mornings or fermented foods. And again, supplements speed up and support the healing of the digestion. So when we talk about healing digestion, some people are like, again, I do try and do some good food, but I do suffer from various conditions like gas and bloating. And it's actually very common that people have what's called small intestine bacteria overgrowth, or SIBO, which means we have bad bacteria building up in our small intestine. And it's very challenging for our body to absorb the nutrients. So a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there's definitely a large portion of people who also have, like I mentioned, digestive issues and SIBO, which impacts their iron absorption. So Vitality does have a solution for you, and that's our Digest Plus. This one actually helps activate and heal the gut, which is really important because when we have bad bacteria in our body, one of the things we need to do is break down that bad bacteria. And we also want to stimulate back up our own natural digestive secretions and our natural juices. So when we take a product like the Digest, it's actually a tablet and it goes into the mouth and you swirl it around the tongue and you'll notice secretions start to go in your mouth. It means you're triggering your brain sending messages to the body and to the stomach to release stomach acid to break down the food. So we're actually reigniting our own digestion. And a lot of people, this will support them in reducing, again, a lot of those bad issues that they're having with their digestion. So it helps relieve the effects of gas, heartburn, and bloating. Again, our iron supplements are vegan, and so is this product. So it's really a product anyone can take. The only people who shouldn't take this product are people who are pregnant, because it does have papaya enzyme, which isn't recommended for women with pregnancy. As I mentioned to you, again, looking at it coming in the mouth, we're going to increase the stimulation of our digestive secretions. We're going to start to break down the bad bacteria. So there's golden seal. It's a nice root herb that breaks down, it's nature's antibiotic. It breaks down all that bad bacteria in the gut and the lower intestine. So again, it's breaking down that gut. And you can see there a picture of the colon, of what an inflamed colon looks like versus a normal. And what we really want to do is get our gut lining back to normal. So this is a product that you take prior to each meal, and it really helps your body break down the food and also start to repair the gut lining. So if you're someone who has mild digestive issues, you're going to take, you have from time to time, gas, bloating, heartburn, you have skin complaints. Again, a lot of the time when we're having skin or digestive issues, you see it in your skin. So again, by taking one tablet before every meal over about 6 weeks, you're going to see a really big difference to your digestive system. You shouldn't take more than 6 tablets a day is my recommendation. Some people need more than that, but on average, 1 to 2 before a meal. And then the other one is chronic. So people who have ongoing really discomfort, IBS, more chronic conditions, then I would recommend that you definitely take 2 tablets before every meal, 6 to 12 weeks to really make a difference. And again, I also tell people take 1 tablet just before bedtime. And the reason that is our body is going into its famine and recovery stage. So while we're sleeping, our body's actually going through a repair cycle. So again, I said, take the iron supplement towards the evening because your body actually doesn't have anything that's going to be conflicting with it. So again, it's being absorbed better. Same thing when we take a digest just before bedtime, it's going to help clear up all that bad inflammation and irritation in the gut, which is going to help us absorb our nutrients better over time and clean up that bad bacteria in our gut. So this is a really great product. I love this one. Both the digest and the power iron have changed people's lives. And I'm very proud of the testimonies and the changes it's been able to bring to people. The other one I'll just mention very quickly is actually our collagens. Collagens, again, also support building the gut lining. So we talk about collagen, and a lot of people are asking me a lot about collagen, fish versus bovine, aka beef. What's the difference and what should I take? And I always tell people that the type 1 is the one that's most similar to our own collagen source. So it's assimilated, it's absorbed better and used better by our body for things like our soft tissues. So that includes our face and our skin, but also the same thing as our digestive lining. So one of the things that by taking a collagen supplement is, again, we're repairing our gut lining. And so collagens, those collagen peptides from marine source, it's from a fish. This isn't a vegan product, but it is from a sustainable source. So again, that's supporting the gut lining. Biotin is also effective for building healthy skin, hair, and nails, but it's also been found in recent studies that those who are deficient in biotin also have higher chances of IBS. So again, irritable bowel syndrome. So again, this impacts our energy and a way to increase it. And vitamin C, of course, is so important to the repair of our system. I actually am drinking collagen today. This is our rose collagen, but we have the 3 ones, the collagen and cranberry, the collagen and rose, and then we have the marine collagen and biotin, which is unflavored. And that's something that's really is something you could look at adding into your regime, because after the age of 25, our natural collagen production starts to drop. And so this really helps support that gut lining and our overall collagen, skin health, and our health of even our joints. So we've talked a lot today about our nutrition. And I said when I started off, I'm going to talk about everything from nutrition to supplementation and hydration. And or excuse me, lifestyle. And one of the things that kind of falls into all of those categories is hydration. And I really do talk a lot about this because it's so essential to our life and also our overall health and nutrition. It does have an impact on our ability to absorb nutrients. So 60% of our body is actually made up by water. A lot of people who are dehydrated have more challenge in terms of bowel movements, their digestive tract. So I always say to people, also make sure that you're increasing your water. It's going to also support your blood circulation, your temperature regulation, nutrient delivery, and even your joint health. So bring hydration in. If you're not sure how much you should be aiming for a day, the average adult woman, just under 3 liters of water, and the average man need about almost 4 liters of water a day. So really think, did I drink that today? And that's a pretty good indicator for you. Tips to increase your hydration: drink water when you feel thirsty. A lot of times people don't, again, listen to the signs of their body. Add your water when you feel thirsty. Increase your intake over time. So don't just go from where you are to the next one. Just keep thinking, keep adding more water over time. And drink a glass of water right when you wake up. Your body is dehydrated when you wake up because you've gone through on average 8 hours without any water intake. So even having a glass of water next to your bed at room temperature, or having one right out of the fridge when you get up with some lemon is a great way to kickstart your energy and your hydration. And filling up a large bottle of water to track your intake during the day, and try and have more fun with it, including things like adding in collagen to your water. That's one of the tips I have, is I put a scoop of my collagen into my water bottle and drink that through the day. It makes it a much easier way to get a liter of water in, and also continue to support your overall health. The last thing I'm going to really touch on today, and I think it's really important, especially knowing where we are right now, is reducing stress and sleeplessness. So when I talked about our nutrition and our iron deficiency and energy, one of the other things I talked about was that mind-gut connection. So we've talked now about why the iron isn't absorbing in our body. We've talked about what we need to do to help increase iron. We know that one of the top reasons that people are lacking energy is because of iron deficiency. And we've talked about one of the key reasons why we don't absorb iron is digestion. And when we talked about the digestion, I talked about that mind-gut connection, the importance of how we are in our body managing with stress and sleeplessness. One of the impacts on our indigestion and our overall health is reducing stress and sleeplessness. And really, it's a cycle. Stress leads to sleeplessness, and sleeplessness leads to stress. So we know that stress has been negatively found to negatively impact sleep. And same thing, sleep decreases our resilience towards stress. So we really want to look at this part of our lifestyle too, to increase our energy, because sleep is, again, our repair cycle. It's so core to our overall health, energy, and happiness during our day. So if you're someone who's suffering from chronic stress, it means that you're putting your body into what's called fight or flight mode. And this is very taxing on your body. And so it also depletes nutrients, because when you're in flight or fight, your body is focused on the immediate, and it's not focused on things like is your digestion. So your digestion starts to shut down. And your body as a whole is not absorbing nutrients or using nutrients the way it would during times of calm. So it's really important that we manage our stress levels, because, again, it also pulls on nutrients in a different way too. Our body burns through B vitamins. Again, those B vitamins really core for our healthy development of our blood cells, but they're also our converters of our food to energy. So again, stress really pulls on B vitamins, vitamin C. So we want to really make sure that we're reducing stress and supporting our body during times of stress. It also weakens our immune system, creates muscle tension and pain, especially through the neck. If you're someone who's clenching your jaw at nighttime, again, these are signs of stress, and they're causes of anxiety and depression. And again, all of these things impact our iron absorption, and they impact our everyday energy levels. So we want to focus on reducing stress. So one of the first things you should do is look at self-care, look at breathing exercises, being more aware, getting out in nature, talking with people, and adding natural supplements to support your body during extra times of stress. So one of the ones that I like to talk about is our Relax Plus. This one actually has a magic ingredient that I call it. It's called cramp bark. So just like it sounds like, your muscles right through here and here, they're cramping up. And so cramp bark generally releases them, same with stomach cramping. So this one really supports calming of anxiety. It supports a restorative sleep. And so that's really what this is doing, is it's calming the body to allow you not to be in that fight or flight experience. And again, when we calm even the tissues of the muscles in the stomach, or the soft tissues of the stomach, that sends that mind gut connection, the message that we're not under duress, and our body calms down. So this one is a great one to take. You can take it throughout the day or in the evening if you do know that you're suffering from ongoing stress and sleep. Again, you can take it just before going to bed if you're someone who's having restlessness, or you know that you are grinding your teeth, you get tension headaches through here. Relax can be taken during the day to help you unwind and support you during those moments of tension or stress. So this is a really good one for people. And the nice thing about it is it works within 15 to 20 minutes. And again, by reducing our chronic stress levels, we're allowing our body to be relaxed and again, feel more energy, feel more of the nutrition being absorbed to allow us to feel our best. Also is our importance is our sleep. So we talked about that sleep stress combination. So our body really requires sleep. It's when we heal. I go back to this over and over. We should not ever try and cut on our hours of sleep because it's when our body is healing. And when we sleep deprivation leads to things like, as I mentioned, stress. It increases our pain sensitivity. We make poor decisions when we're tired. It changes our hormone imbalance, which can actually lead to weight gain and overall reducing our productivity and efficiency. And most important of all things, it reduces our lifespan. So we want to really make sure that we prioritize sleep in our life and that we're really making sure that we're supporting our muscles, our body to get the deepest sleep we can. And we also recommend taking magnesium and chamomile for sleep, which is another one with Vitality, which this one I recommend every single day. Magnesium is actually a majority of people require about 300 milligrams. We put our magnesium with chamomile. So you get that beautiful blend of the therapeutic chamomile that's calming to the nervous system. It soothes the digestive tract. It calms the body and it puts you into a nice deep sleep. And again, it's building a healthy routine for a deep sleep. So again, really nice way to calm down at night, calm the digestive system, and support your nerve relaxation, muscle relaxation, and overall health. So just on that last note around sleep, not only is it important to be thinking about what we're taking and thinking overall, how do we reduce our stress and our sleep? But one of the things we also want to do is create bedtime routines. So it's a nice way to relax is to shut off your phone, shut off the TV, make an oasis of your bedroom, no electronics in there, including televisions. Drink a nice warm cup of magnesium and chamomile tea. You want to make sure that your bed space is free of clutter, that you're really keeping your bedroom for sleep and sex and relationship connection or just calmness in your life. And you want to keep it dark, quiet, and cool. A lot of people turn their thermostat up, especially at this time of year, but it's actually better to have a cooler bedroom and even air in your bedroom if you can. Again, that's very natural to your body and supports you. Eliminate caffeine earlier in the day. Some people I know drink it later in the evening or afternoon, but if you can eliminate it after 11 a.m., that again supports your body during sleep. And avoid sweet snacks. I know a lot of time people like a little dessert, but again, try and reduce that as well as alcohol. And we talked about supplementing with herbals to help you have a deeper, calmer sleep. And one of the things that I always say to people is if you wear a Fitbit, you can actually see during taking things like a relax, your calmness or moments of restlessness actually decrease during the night. So even a way that you can track how are your supplements supporting your calmness with the way that we have Fitbits and all these type of technologies today, you can even see that supplements are making a difference for your life. So the last one there, the importance of exercise. I talked about lifestyle for bringing in energy. Regular exercise is a huge way to reduce stress, which helps your overall body. And so that's kind of the last tip that we should all know about our ways to feel best. So that's kind of a summary of what I talked about today was focus on healthy foundations. When we talk about increasing our iron, increase your energy, we talked about the importance of food and hydration. So again, really making sure that you think about what are you eating in your day? What can you add into your day? We talked about supplementation, the first one being the power iron, which is so core and should be your foundation to building iron stores. If your body doesn't need iron, you can tell because you'll have black stool. So you can either go for an iron test if you think you need to, or you can start with this iron supplement. And with a non-heme iron like iron bisglycinate, it is best absorbed and then also released by your body. We also talked in the supplementation, the digest and the collagen, as well as the relax and the magnesium and chamomile to really support your body. Again, that importance of digestion, the importance of stress and sleep. We talked about lifestyle today and ways to think about your lifestyle, reducing that stress and getting a good sleep and adding movement into your day. So I hope that those support you. I had a beautiful letter written to me a couple of years ago. I actually received it as an email, and I thought I would share it with you. I haven't read it for a long time, but it was actually an email that came into my inbox from Jeannie, who lives in Langley, British Columbia. And she wrote, "Hi there. I had to write to tell you how much I love your product, Power Iron Plus Spirulina. I've had severe iron deficiency anemia for years. My doctors have not been able to figure out why. I've been tested for everything, and they cannot find anything wrong. I've taken pretty much every iron that my doctor gave me, and nothing worked. My ferritin, which was again that storage, my ferritin was down to 2 and my hemoglobin 70. I had to have 4 blood transfusions to try and keep me going while the doctors tried to figure out what was going on. I had seen numerous doctors, including one of the top GI specialists in Canada at St. Paul's Hospital. They were stumped. They said, it's unfortunate, but my body doesn't seem to absorb iron, and I'll need iron infusions for the rest of my life. I was in a retail store and accidentally stumbled upon your product. It was recommended to me by one of the women working there. I started taking it that night. I took 1 capsule every night for 4 weeks. I went and had my monthly blood test. I was shocked to see my ferritin had gone from 2 to 24 in 4 weeks. I kept taking it for another 4 weeks and I was over 30. My blood levels are now normal. This is all because of your product. Thanks to you, I'm done with blood transfusions, iron transfusions, and no more IVs. Thank you. Your product has literally saved my life." I just wanted to share that letter with you because I started at the beginning saying that it can be very frustrating to go through iron deficiency and the challenges of what it can be like to go over many months or even sometimes years. And Jeannie and I have since met, and she's a wonderful woman, preschool teacher and a grandmother now, and basically 20 years of iron deficiency. So 1 month, and within 2 months, she had normal iron levels. So, for me, as I said, my number one focus is building products and supporting people with education to change their lives. And I hope that the information that I provided with you tonight helps you with your journey to start finding ways to increase your iron stores through both food and supplementation, as well as increase your overall energy. And as Darcy mentioned at the beginning, I'm always happy to receive emails as well as questions to hello@vitality.ca. And like I say, we're very thankful for being here with you tonight.
That's great. Thanks, Cheryl. That was really good. I love it when you share all your knowledge with us because your pacing's wonderful, and I just feel we come away so much richer. We don't have
Thank
any
you.
questions yet, but I have a couple questions. If I could kick a
Of
couple
course.
off, that'd be awesome. So I think that I don't know the difference between prescription iron and supplement iron, but I hear what you're saying because we have a lot of women come into our stores and they've been given one by their doctors and they haven't had a normal poop in weeks.
Yeah.
It's so constipating, so that's really great. I love your product too because I think it's one of the highest iron ones that we carry in our store,
Yes.
and we really need, as you said earlier, it's really important that you're trying to recover from something and build. It's not just maintenance.
Yeah,
And absorbability is a kind of a moving target, isn't it? So it's really great to get a good solid amount. If you
definitely.
are taking your product and you're succeeding in gaining better iron stores and iron levels in your blood, can you take one every other day as a maintenance dose? Like, is it okay to pulse it?
Sure.
I don't
Well,
see a
great
reason why not. Yeah.
questions. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And a couple of things that you mentioned there. Yeah, repeatedly I'm asked about what to do about people when they come in with prescription irons. What's the difference between an iron from a prescription as well as to a natural health product? And the majority of prescription irons, they're coming from iron salts. And so the format is has a high elemental value, but it can cause a lot of irritation to the gut. Products that you're finding in the natural health food stores, natural past carry, they're a higher level of iron. So this one is iron bisglycinate. So basically it's chelated, which means it absorbs easier, it's easier on the body. And then what's not used is eliminated by the body. So iron, the type of iron it's coming from is very important. And so that's why I say, I do recommend to people start with one a day, see how you do. Some people do take two a day when they are on scripts, but I would always say, see how you do with one a day, just like Jeannie, the letter I read you there at the end. She went from that type of scenario too, because again, those irons don't have that B12 and folic acid to build those healthy red blood cells, absorb that iron. So that's one of the best ways to look at it. The second part to that was, how do you, once you get your iron, how do you go from there? And so actually we brought in the daily iron plus spirulina, and that was because it was actually retailers and naturopaths who asked us to do that, because they're like, we have so many people who are so successful on the power iron. How do we now get them, like, how should we pulse the product? And that's when we built the daily iron. So the daily iron is a lower dose of that the folic acid, the B12, as well as the iron. And also you can take it as you need it. So again, you can take between 1 to 3 a day. So whether it's 15 milligrams, 30 milligrams, or 45 milligrams, 45 milligrams is the highest level of an iron in a natural health product. So we are at the top there with the power iron. And so what I do recommend when someone gets their iron levels up is that they start taking the daily iron. If they need more support, then pulse in the power iron. I know a lot of women also take the power iron during their menstrual cycle, and then they take the daily iron for the rest of the month. If you are someone who likes to take one every other day, you can do that, but I do recommend the daily iron instead, because I think that's a great way to just, again, keep that consistency. We don't want to miss a day or fall out of routine, because once you get your iron stores up, you want to keep them there. You'll feel that energy.
That's great. Thank you. I think another good time too is sort of perimenopause, and as you're approaching menopause. And I don't know if we
Yes.
have any listeners out there that are that age group, but you can have some really heavy periods as you sort of complete your whole sort of cycles. And that was certainly my case. I had very light periods all my life and never had issues with iron. But as I neared menopause, I was having what I used to call the crime scene period. So it's a little
Yeah.
bit gross, but you
And
have a point, a lot of
that's
blood loss, right?
a lot of blood,
Yeah.
and it's very true. It's and the cycles of women change as they're coming into menopause, and that is very important, because again, we don't want to go into menopause and have iron deficiencies. We want to make sure that we're supporting our body naturally. And you're right, a lot of women do. And I'm 45. My friends are asking me a lot of questions about that as they enter into their late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s, like, oh, like, why is this happening to my body? And what
Mhm.
should I be doing? So yes, definitely a time that you want to be supporting your body. Don't think, oh, well, I'm entering out of it, I probably don't need that iron. You do, because you want to make sure your iron stores are high, especially as we enter into that time frame supporting our body. We talked about the importance of iron stores for our heart. A lot of women, when we go into menopause, again, our iron deficiencies can impact our overall cardiovascular heart, and that's why our cardiovascular health. So really, really important. There's really not an age that we shouldn't be paying attention to the iron in our bodies, especially as women. And same thing, women who are seniors, is this misnomer that because you're a senior, you don't need iron, but you do need iron, not to the same levels, but definitely a lot of seniors find their digestion reduces. And so they may not be getting, and same thing, lower stomach acid. So they may not get the same nutrient density being delivered. So again, that supplementation can really support them keeping their energy and overall health up.
Yeah, I think those are awesome points, especially as we age, the appetite does go down, but we don't do a lot of tests for nutrient deficiencies. And a senior
Yeah.
can present with no energy. These are simple little fixes that are really safe, and it's just worth
Yeah.
trying. Particularly, people don't eat as much, even if you are a meat eater, your meat can decline because you don't chew as well, and lots of reasons like that. But
Yeah.
those are great
Very
points.
sensitive throats, lower stomach acid. So, again, the digest really helps stimulate up that natural digestive
That's a good point.
secretions, and that supports in that area too. But yeah, it definitely, teenagers, as I'm just going to mention, because there's, usually the women who may be on the phone who are going through menopause, they have teenage and young adult women in their lives. And so again, we usually look to make sure that they're staying in their optimal health. And again, getting that daily iron as a building block to their nutrition, that's really core as well, because their bodies are now going through that growth. They've grown, their bodies are still growing, maturing, and then now they're into having periods and menstruation. So they're going to have to look at how is their nutrition. A lot of young people, young adults and athletes also pull on more iron stores. They actually are, they're not getting enough iron because of the fact that they're not getting heme sources. So a lot of the vegan and vegetarian lifestyle in the younger group. So again, very important to be considering iron at that point in life too.
Mhm. Those are excellent points. And I think too, with the plant-based movement being quite a strong force, it really makes sense to, if you sit down with a nutritionist and figure out some of these things, some common deficiencies, and by choosing certain ways to eat. And these are
Yeah,
easy ways to stay on the kind of eating plan that you might be happiest with, and still keep your health really intact. So that's really great. If
exactly.
anybody has any questions, go ahead and throw them into the chat. We have a few more minutes. I'm going to ask Cheryl another question because I love the idea of her relax and relaxation product. And I've got a husband that doesn't sleep too well, but I'm sure there's so many people out there that don't sleep well. And as you said it, man, that's an important thing for health and longevity.
Yeah,
I like that you can take this one during the night, and that's something that I wasn't aware of, but that could
yeah,
really help people that fall asleep okay, but wake up and don't get back to sleep. So that really appeals to me. And I think you have a 10 per day limit, which tells me it's intrinsically very safe, and it kind of has a short shelf life in
exactly.
your body, but it works throughout. So that sounds
That's
amazing.
yeah.
So if you're having trouble sleeping, would you recommend starting off with the 2 tablets, 2 hours before, the 1 tablet 20 before, or just go to bed? If you wake up, try the ones during the night. Like, is there a best way to
Sure.
start, or what would you think?
Yeah, I always say there's sort of two ways to look at it. The first one is the person who has what I call the running mind. So you put your head down, but you're laying there for about an hour thinking about all kinds of things. So those are the type of people that are ideal for taking about, an hour or two before bed, 2 tablets, because you're going to start to calm your bodies, calm your nervous system. And then when you get into bed, take another 1 to 2 tablets. The other thing I always say to people is, the size of your body determines everything. So if you're a 5 foot woman who weighs 100 pounds versus, one of my brothers who's 6'6" and, 240, you're going to have a very different need. So, but that's why I say the average person, 2 tablets, an hour before bed, and then taking another one as you're getting into bed is going to really help you stop that racing mind and fall asleep. The second is the person who falls asleep like that, which we're all envious of, but then they wake up 1, 2 multiple times during the night. So with them, what's best for them is actually to take the 2 just before bedtime, because their body's going to relax, reduce some of that muscle tension so that their body is going to be more grounded, if you will. They'll sleep longer. And if they wake up in the middle of the night, what they can do is then take another 1 to 2. It's going to break that pattern of waking up in the middle of the night. So we're trying to break the pattern of waking up and moving around in the nighttime. So that's a really nice one. And you're 100% 100% right. It is a light herbal product, so you're not going to have a groggy feeling. There's no melatonin. It's all natural, calms the nervous system, calms the muscles. And that one's really great, especially too for people with restless legs. That's another one that's calming that nervous tension. The one that I also do mention to people when they tell me, my mom always says this, I'm like, I have to get up in the bathroom to go to the bathroom and then I can't fall back to sleep. So chamomile actually calms the bladder. It seems counterintuitive, but we have the magnesium and chamomile both in the capsule format as well as the tea. So again, calming the muscles and supporting sleep for long term, but you're also relaxing the bladder so that you don't have that urge to go to the bathroom. So that's also a great one for anyone who does have the ongoing need to go to the bathroom multiple times during the night, or a lot of men who have prostate considerations as well. But yeah, I love the relax. That's a great one. And for teens who are going through, again, stress, young adults, this one is a really great one because they can use it as they need it. And again, a lot of them are having challenges sleeping too. So we're seeing sleep issues develop right from, the younger years. Chamomile and magnesium actually was developed by me for my niece. Again, as a child, she was having sleep issues. We created the product for children and then turned it into adults. So that's why I said it, because a lot of people are like, why don't they have this for adults too? So 100%, Darcy, everything you're saying about sleep is really important. The relax I love because it works within minutes and just calms the body. And so your questions are fantastic. Again, if you're mind racing before you fall to bed, take an hour beforehand, calm the body. Easy to fall asleep, take it as you're going to bed, and that's going to help you go into that deeper sleep. And then just take it 1 or 2 again if you wake up in the middle of the night.
Well, that's so great. And then you can take this ongoing. So I know sometimes supplements, they say, take it for like 3 to 6 weeks kind of thing. But this seems fairly safe to be taking sort of in perpetuity.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as you say, you retrain your body. And sometimes
Yeah,
it's a learned behavior. Because I know
it
sometimes my
is.
husband, he says, oh, I hope I sleep tonight. Well, then there it is. You just want to get into a rhythm. Show yourself you can, and
Yeah,
then perhaps you can. And over time, you don't need it.
exactly.
And you can stop
Yeah,
and start yours, right? Like if you have a particularly stressful day, you can take
yeah.
more, which is great. It's not like a dose that has to maintain itself like a heart med or something. So that's really
You're
great
right.
too. But
Yeah.
yeah, good for
And
you.
that goes back to lifestyle. One of the things we talked about there in lifestyle is creating a nighttime routine. So someone like your husband who's
Mhm.
has that consideration and concern, he is adding that stress on his body, impacting his, hopefully his sleep tonight. Build that routine, have your
Yeah.
cup of magnesium and chamomile, have that with your relax, even you can take them safely together and just fall into that nice deep sleep that at nighttime you go, you know what? I'm in my nighttime routine. I'm going to have a great sleep again tonight. And that again helps change your mindset to how you're going to get a better sleep.
Mhm. And for some strange reason, he doesn't tolerate melatonin. So I'm just really happy to see a product that doesn't have it. Everyone
Yeah.
screams melatonin so great, but it's not always. And the dosages can be hard to kind of nail that way too. So I think that's
The
really
other thing
great.
about melatonins is they're actually, our body naturally makes melatonin, and two of the herbs there in the relax actually naturally support GABA
Oh,
development in your body. And also melatonin when taken earlier in the day can support sleep, but a lot of people are taking it actually when they're going to bed, and that can also interrupt our sleep cycle. So
right.
when you take melatonin also impacts how it impacts your sleep. So that's why I like the herbals, because they're working more naturally with the body.
Yeah, much easier. Okay, well, we don't have any other questions coming in tonight, but I will just say thank you everyone for coming, and thank you, Cheryl, so much. As always, you're a delight to have. You're very articulate, and we learn so much. And as I say, it keeps us wide awake, and we're excited to hear more. So thank you again, and
Perfect.
thank you, everyone. Look forward to receiving your coupon, and we look forward to seeing you in our store soon, and watch for future events coming our way. So thank you very much, everyone, and good night.